Welcome back to Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones. Last time we took Fort Rigwald from the giant walking meme that is Geb. Thankfully we won't be seeing him again. Now we're gonna, well, you can tell by the chapter title we'll be dealing with a certain someone here. We have to stop Selena from executing one of her fellow generals. And I'm mostly talking here just to show the map, reveal here. Our next destination is Bethrowan, which is right on the peninsula here. Firstly though, I'm going to have to do two things. I'm going to grind up Emilia again, and also grind up Tana, because I want her to be pretty strong for this next chapter. This is a pretty tough chapter from what I remember, so we need to be on our guard. Just like Erica chapter 13, it is a defend mission. Also, Ephraim has his own map theme now. World map theme, I mean. It's pretty cool. But yeah, for now, I'm not going to be doing a training montage this time. I'll just cut away from this. So, see you after a little bit of tower grinding. Can you believe that Emilia gained more strength in all of these trainee levels alone in Ephraim's route than she did for about 16 levels of Armor Knight on Erica's? Really? Yeah, like I've said earlier, how the trainees turn out often depends on how lucky you get with their initial levels up. They tend to either be extremely good or extremely bad, depending on this. Emilia especially, but I have to show this because this is going to be Emilia's promotion. Ironically, despite her getting better strength here, I'm going to have her go Cavalier this time. This is the one that I generally prefer using for Emilia. So it's Cavalier time. So it's going to be more red and less pink. Also, I believe this is the first time in the series, well, in fact, the last time in the series for GBA that you get to see the female Cavalier sprite, because this was the last GBA game. But in the GBA games, there were female paladins, but never female cavaliers. So Emilia is the first chance you get to see what a female cavalier looks like in the GBA games. Anyway, I'm going to be leveling her up a little bit more. Also, for those wondering, here's Tana. She's doing pretty alright. She got a pretty awful first level up though, only getting luck. Okay, so I'm back, but first I want to show off just how Tana and Emilia have gone. So here's Tana. Yeah, she's pretty decently leveled at this point. I would have appreciated a bit more strength, but oh well. And her weapons are a little bit worn down. I'll probably need to get her a javelin as well. And as for Emilia, she's looking pretty okay, although her defense is not great. So you can, I guess, I don't know, I got a bit defense blessed with her on the last route, so you probably can't see the contrast between the two classes, but these stats are okay. And she gains an extra weapon type, so she can use swords now. Oh yeah, Wormslayer. This thing got dropped in one of the skirmishes. I also, and this is actually pretty weird, I'm pretty sure Seth is still the only one here who can use it, but I got the rune sword layout of the tower first floor again. So yeah, might as well grab that. One-use javelin. The heavy spear is still not going to be that useful. I hate all these one-use weapons that I have lying around. Because I'm going to go ahead and I might just trade Ford Steel Sword over to Joshua, because I don't think I'm going to be using Ford that much going ahead. You don't need that door key, obviously. I don't exactly want to grab the Wormslayer now, though. It might be useful going forward. Don't need that, at least currently. Now, Ross, you are going to, speaking of one-use left weapons, you're going to take that Killer Axe, which might come in handy in this chapter. I mean, not... There's a pretty good chance it won't, but there's also a slight chance that it will. I think Ephraim's still okay. Kyle is alright. I think I need... Well, I definitely need more weapons on Emilia, because, yeah, look at all those one-use weapons. Gonna put the Wormslayer in the convoy for the moment. I think you're okay on staves. But yes, I will need to buy some more things. Oh, Franz needs more things too. Wow, Franz is also running low. We will actually have access to an armory in this chapter though, but I kind of want to get some more items here. So Emilia, let's see what you got. 13. Wait, how... Your con's like 9, if I'm remembering right? Yeah, it's 9. Okay, might as well buy an extra iron sword then. And, iron or steel? Gonna go for an extra iron. Tana, what should she... Oh yeah, she's already got a steel, and yeah, all you need is a javelin. Assuming that you don't sell javelins, okay. Okay, so I think at the moment the only place that has, unless you have javelins, because if you don't, I might have to get one off of the convoy armory. Oh, you do have javelins, that's good. Grab one of those then. And Kyle looks alright, Seth is fine, Ross is fine. I think we're good to go. Now, I have practiced this next chapter, and it turns out it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was. That's good. However, there are a few things that can go wrong depending on how unlucky I get, which is probably very, so we'll see. So, let's head out to the port town. Although, Dussel seems a lot calmer than Ephraim, actually. And fortunately, Dussel happens to be currently on the Empire's hit list, so it's a good thing we're getting to him now. Entering Grado pretty solidly now for Chapter 10, Turning Traitor. This title is actually pretty cool because it's got a lot of, not exactly double meanings, but it applies to multiple characters in this chapter. Also, hello there, generic Pegasus Knight Messenger again. So, she's basically filling us in on what's happening on Erica's route. If you're playing Ephraim's route first, this is a bit of a preview of what Erica's route is like. If not, it's explaining information that we already know. So, yep, Erica's still heading out to assist him. So yeah, the concurrent chapters of each route pretty much take place at the same time. We're already a bit too far into Grado territory for that. Mustn't let your emotions dictate your actions, except that's what you do all the time. I guess so. I'm sure she will. And, what's that? Earthquake? Of course, Seth is too awesome to be affected by a mere earthquake. So, Grado gets earthquakes a lot. Usually weak, but, now that I know this is happening, it's only a matter of time before a big one comes. That's always the case in earthquake-affected areas. And the people living here are pretty used to them. So, at least Edgeworth isn't here. I heard that the anime actually... I don't know if this is true, but it might have actually got rid of Edgeworth's fear of earthquakes, which seems pretty weird. And so we have two generals confronting each other. As I said, good thing we're arriving on the scene now. Oh no. Yeah, Dussel obviously doesn't want to fight him. But Selena seemed pretty sympathetic to Renee's citizens when she was in there. Uh-oh. And here we go. Never confess to something like that in front of someone as slavishly loyal as Selena. Well, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. Madness. Obviously something's wrong, and Dussel and his crew have all turned into NPCs. And hey, you didn't appear for quite a while on Erika's route, but this is one of the bigger differences on Ephraim's. Cormac is obviously hesitant. That line probably says something about the relative age of Cormac's brother compared to everyone as well. I didn't expect him to be that young. And she's still following his orders to the letter. And Cormac doesn't like it, which is probably a good thing for us. I love how the two healers are the first in my list. It's pretty impressive that you recognize him from this far away. Although, then again, there are no other NPC Great Knights in this game, I believe, so yeah. And of course, Ephraim's going to rescue his old teacher. So with that, we get to this chapter, with the goal being to survive. This chapter has a very interesting objective. We've got 10 turns to defend for. The objective is to keep Dussel alive for those 10 turns. Thing is, though, comparing Dussel's stats to all the enemies here, Dussel is in absolutely no danger of dying. I don't think I've ever seen him die in this chapter. It's almost impossible. So really, you just need to wait this one out. Unfortunately, while he's pretty much invincible, the same can't be said for these guys. Some generic NPC Cavalier people. They all have vulneraries, but that's probably not going to save them. So, here's the problem. You get a Knight's Crest at the end of this chapter if all 3 of Dussel's NPC Cavaliers survive. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Thankfully, they don't move unless they're directly threatened, but even then, you need to rush them pretty quickly if you want to save them. And that may not be enough, because there's some enemies that are going to approach them, especially these mercenaries. So, if you know about mercenaries, you know they love getting low percent criticals. And if that happens too many times, these cavaliers are going to be gone. So, I might fail this due to pure luck. It's a definite possibility. So, the idea here is to break through these enemies as quickly as possible and get to Dussel's NPCs and protect them. These initial enemies are not that strong. There's also a bunch of fighters here we'll have to cut past. Once we get around here, though, that's where things start becoming a problem. We've got Lance Reaver, we've got a Killer Bow, that's kind of scary, Luna, a Killing Edge, and a Horse Slayer. Of course, you'll have to make sure that these guys only use their javelins if you want to grab their weapons. Weird thing is, these 2 enemies don't move for a really long time. It's kind of bizarre. I guess if the Horse Slayer guy did move early, you'd probably have no chance of rescuing these people, so it's probably done for those reasons. Also, Cormac is down here. He's a little different to Erika's route, I'll explain that a bit later, but he comes with a couple of Wyvern Riders. I'll talk about that later. There's also some pirates, but the chances of them reaching those villages is pretty much nothing, especially since if the pirates do manage to reach this village, they've probably killed at least one of these NPCs, and that means, well, if you're a perfectionist, you've already failed. One irritating thing, though, is it's possible for these NPCs to actually run on top of the village and use their vulneraries. If that happens, you have to rescue them if you want to save that village. It's really, really irritating. But something kind of weird about this chapter, these things. This is one of the most unique enemies in the entire Fire Emblem series, Fleet. They're warships that have incredibly low movement. They've got 3, but because the ocean has a big movement cost, they can only move 1. They only use ballistas. And this is pretty much the only time you get to directly look at a ballista's weapon stat. So yes, they have a weight stat of 20, and 3 to 10 range, 8 might, but these things have maxed out constitution, obviously, because they're a ship. So, these enemies, it's kind of annoying. They've got great potential as Fire Emblem enemies, but you only see them in this chapter. You never see them again after this. It's really weird. I wish they used them more because they're actually pretty cool. Also, we've got Selena here. She's pretty strong and has this tome, which I'm pretty sure everyone loves to hate. Thankfully, it has 20 weight, so there's no way you're doubling with that ever. But super long range. Super long range. And quite powerful, too. But we'll see what we do with that eventually, let's just say. For now, though, let's pick our characters. Let's see. You actually do want to bring Tana to this chapter. It's actually a bit of a guide, dang it, but having Tana here does help. I want Amelia because I just trained her. Kyle, definitely. Franz, I want. I might have to kick out Ford, actually. Seth, Ross. Yeah, this is pretty much everyone that I want to bring. As much as it might seem like having Ross go on the seas is going to help here, all the seas in this map, well, for the most part, except for these areas here, but by the time you get here it's probably too late, are surrounded by cliffs, which Ross can't cross. As much as I love the idea of Ross walking over the water to chop that boat in half. So, I think that's fine on characters, yeah. So let's go with formation. Tana's going to go here. Mulder's healing staff is not going to have much uses, but, I mean, hey, an extra healer is always helpful. Actually, maybe not, and I kind of want Seth to be fairly far forward, because we're going to need to kind of rush these initial enemies. Franz back there, and Kyle here. I think that's okay. That should be pretty much everything I need to do, so it's time to start the chapter. Okay, confession time, I actually did fail this chapter once. And from the failed run, I know to do a few things. Firstly, Tana is going to grab 2 elixirs. Or she could just grab Ross's 1 elixir because he's not really... Oh my... Okay, so yeah, Ross died in the other run that I did, and if I'd known he had an elixir, he probably wouldn't have. Wow, that was dumb. I'm actually going to go ahead and take Ross's 3-use elixir. I've also put the Slim Lance back in the convoy because it's pretty much useless here. But I'm also going to go ahead and give, because having an elixir on Ross might not be a bad idea, and I'm going to go ahead and give, I've got a couple of 1-use elixirs on. Yeah, I don't think Josh was going to need that. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm also going to give Seth Colum's Iron Sword, just so he doesn't have to use the Rune Sword all the time. And now let's fight! So we still have the amazing music as always. And first things first, I'm going to go ahead and turn on battle animations. Probably was a good thing that I failed the chapter before because I forgot that on the first turn last time. Gonna have Amelia go in this forest and equip the Iron Lance. And now, I don't want that guy to be attacking Ross, so Ross is going to go here. Ephraim as well. So, the idea here is to very quickly break through the first set of enemies here and get to these NPCs, preferably before the pirates reach them, because they are going to need some help fighting the pirates. So, just getting everyone into, getting my tanky knights as well ready to move out. And also Seth. Seth is probably going to be the first one to help rescue the NPCs. And my 2 healers are going to go in the back. As for Tana, now Tana's going to head down towards Cormag's group. The reason is a bit of a guide, dang it. But she can go far enough to start luring them. I'm going to want to lure one of them, but I'm not going to want to lure Cormag himself. Because Cormag himself has a killer lance, and I don't want to get crit by that. But I am going to lure one of them, and I'm going to equip the steel lance, because that's going to do decent damage to him. So at the end of the first turn, Volta appears. Wasn't he supposed to be busy tracking down Erica? For some reason, he's actually here. And yeah, he's still being his usual self. And so he has a message for Selena. Turns out that Selena's actually a bait and switch boss. We don't have to fight her in this chapter. And it seems like His Majesty is declaring her a traitor as well. Wait a minute, it all makes sense now. The Emperor is the guy who made that FE7 commercial! And this line I find a bit weird. She hasn't even started fighting him yet. I mean, I guess Volta probably thinks, you know, she should have killed him on sight, but still. And so we have Volta's pretty generic Lieutenant Baran. Oh, great. Unfortunately, His Majesty is pretty insane. I do like this line, though. And he really does trust no one. And yeah, here's the chapter title. It's actually pretty interesting how it applies to Selena as well as Dussel, and someone else in this chapter too. Admittedly, she is lucky that he didn't do that. This is probably a sign that he's pretty far gone at this point. Unfortunately, she's going to have to go back to the capital and talk to him directly to try and figure out what's happening. Which, on the plus side, means we don't have to deal with bolting. And of course, trust no one makes sense when that someone is Volta. And of course, Volta is doing all of this just to prolong the war. And he's still as creepy as always. And thus we have a new boss. We'll talk about him later, but yeah, if you play Erika's route, you'll know what Volta does over in Carquino. But, you know, I'm going to try and avoid spoiling what exactly happens on Erika's route, because there might be some people who are playing this and who chose Ephraim's route first, and who just want to watch these videos before they watch Erika's. So, in the interest of that, I might... I mean, there are the way I'm treating the bios. Yeah, I'm going to try and put in some annotations to link back to the bios on Erika's route. So, Amelia's doing pretty well. Unfortunately, she can't double this guy, but that's to be expected. And thus the pirates are moving, and those mercenaries. Yeah, the mercenaries are really, really irritating. So we're going to have to fight our way through quite a few axe users, but first we have this guy. And this is why I gave Tana the elixir. Oh wow, this guy's actually going to take... If you gain strength, though, you'll be able to finish him off next turn. Ah! Okay, so my RNG is, in terms of level ups, the same as it was in my last attempt of the chapter, because that's exactly what happened in my first attempt. That is very annoying. Yeah, that's not great. Thankfully, though, Cormac doesn't start moving until around turn 4, so what I can do here is I can have Tana just stay here and... I mean, if you're gonna take one extra turn to kill him anyway, you might as well equip the weapon that gives you better evasion and a better hit rate. This is why I'm using the elixir. So, we have to fight our way through some of these guys. Let's see. Now, if the RNG truly is on the same seed as it was last time, Amelia will get... That's not the same seed! Amelia got hit here last time, so things obviously are going to be radically different. Let's see, Joshua doesn't quite do it. Huh, he actually needs the experience a bit more than Lute does. No, Franz only has lances, so I'm probably going to have to... Wait a minute. No. But the only lances that Franz has might help here, because Kyle's not going to finish off this guy. And I kind of understand you getting hit. But if I swap over Franz's Javelin over to Ephraim, I can actually get that guy, hopefully. Okay, yeah, let's do that now. could technically attack him now. And you're probably not going to... Yeah, I like all those weapons on him. I'm going to keep all of them. So let's hopefully javelin this guy. 1 miss. 2 miss, of course! What is with my luck? Admittedly, it's not the end of the world because I can just do this. Yeah. As much as I don't like using the rune sword here, I do want Seth on the front line. Because I need to get him to the NPCs as fast as possible. He's usually the one who helps protect them first. He's also good for rescuing the NPCs if they go on to the village. And if the level up RNG is the same, Seth will get a really great level up. Huh, no he didn't. Okay, so RNG's obviously changed. Last time he gained strength, skill, speed, and defense. Gonna want you as close to the action as possible. Well, you don't one-shot that guy. Yeah, might as well use loot. Loot's also... I should probably stop talking about my previous attempt here. Because obviously you won't see the whole thing. But I'm going to want you on hand to... Well, there actually aren't many axe users left, but I guess you can fight some of them. Meanwhile, anybody need healing? Not really. Also, watch out for this fleet here. Who, by the way, is actually carrying a secret book, so if you want all the items in this chapter, you will have to fight him, and you need a flyer to do so, because, like I said, Ross can't go over the cliffs, so you do need a flyer. So Cormac says this at the end of the second turn, but that's not an indication that he's about to move. That's going to come later, and this is going to stall Seth, because obviously I won't be able to double this guy. But I should be able to break through next turn. One of those fighters does have a hand axe. I should mention that when I practiced this, which was actually not the attempt that failed, but when I did one practice run of this chapter, Ephraim missed an 86 when I was trying to break through this blockade, and it caused me to get stalled, and it also caused Luke to die, so that was very frustrating. I don't know why the RNG is hating me so much in this playthrough. Normally, Sacred Stones is pretty kind to me, RNG-wise. Oh, hey, that's exactly enough to finish you off with the Steel Lance. And thus the fleets continue to move. Thus you get into a pretty alright position. I think I can take you out next turn. Because the pirates are getting closer, and yeah, this guy's the guy with the hand axe. This is actually a pretty small map. Why'd that mercenary not move? It's kind of odd. But yeah, speaking of mercenaries, what I like to call the mercenary deluge starts happening now. Mercenaries will spawn from these forts for almost the entire rest of the chapter. And they love to get low percent criticals on the NPCs, so let's really desperately hope that doesn't happen. Okay, first things first here, I need to get rid of you. But I also would like to... Let's see. Now, here's a case where I'm pretty sure I've got a better hit rate with... Yes, I have a better hit rate with an Iron Sword. And I do have to be careful because when I was also doing this earlier, I had a few cases where I mashed the A button a bit too hard and accidentally attacked things that I didn't want to be attacking. Unfortunately, Kyle's RNG blessing has probably worn off by now. You have a Lance Reaver, so I've got to watch out for you. However, I found out this out. The Killer Axe actually one-shots this guy. Even though Ross does get doubled, this is a... And overkill. But this is a pretty safe bet thanks to the 96 hit rate. And we get the Lance Reaver, which I'm going to have to send to the convoy, even though it... Actually, it's not that useful in this chapter. Okay, now Ross... Not... Joshua, I don't know why I call him Ross, but... Joshua fights this guy off. So I think we've well and truly broken through the blockade of enemies here. This chapter is actually pretty interesting, how it's framed as a defense chapter, but it's actually more of an offensive one. You have to rush through the initial enemies to get to Dacel. Now, Amelia, I hope that... Of course you are one off. Well, I guess I can have Luke finish you. Why'd I use the lance there? Well, I mean, I still did decently, but I really don't know why I did that. Again, gotta be careful before mashing the A button. And that guy's gone. Lute is one step closer to not gaining speed again. I pretty much resigned myself to the fact that I'm going to have to use a speed wing on both her and Ross. Ross I understand, but Lute? Lute usually has amazing speed for me. Okay, so it's Seth to the rescue, and can you... No, he can't kill this guy in one shot. This is where the Iron Sword's going to be useful, because I don't want to waste any of the other two weapons. So, I'm going to have to endure a potential low percent crit from a mercenary against the NPCs. But thankfully, this guy should be gone next turn, and then I'll be able to have Seth protect them from the pirates. Right as the mercenary deluge hits. Speaking of mercenaries, there's that guy. But yeah, I want Ephraim to start heading down here. Now, something that you might be wondering is, yes, Ephraim can recruit Dacel by talking to him, but I like to have Ephraim fighting on the front lines here, so I'm not sure if I'll actually do that. I might end up showing that off in bonus footage. I do like the recruitment with Dacel, but it's just kind of, again, a case of I like having Ephraim on the front lines. So, Cormag is almost about to move, so I'm going to have to finish this guy off quickly. I feel bad for fighting one of Cormag's squadron. They really should turn into NPCs after you recruit him, but sadly they don't. So, the map's looking pretty clear now. But soon there's going to be lots and lots of mercenaries. Oh hey, looks like using the lance actually was a blessing. And that's going to be enough for a level up. Please tell me it's good. It's a good one. It actually was pretty good. That's very nice. But yes, one pirate is in a position to actually, this guy's one of the world's dumbest mercenaries, is actually in a position to encroach over the shore and attack the NPCs. Fortunately, Seth has a rune sword, so I'm going to be able to run down there and rune sword that guy. These fleets don't really do that much damage even to people like Lute, so as long as you don't get hit by them in the same turn you get hit by something else, it's usually fine. And also, this indicates Cormag moving. So, fortunately, at least I hope, he starts moving up first, so that's why I have Tana here. Now... Okay, first things first. It's time for... Seth doesn't double. Oh, that must be because Seth gained speed in my previous run and he doesn't here. Okay, unfortunately, that means one of the NPCs is going to end up getting attacked. Although, because of the movement cost of the sea, I think, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think if I put Seth here, the NPC can still get attacked. And this guy's got a lance, so that's a problem. It's really not the end of the world, though. Should I save the javelin for something else? Though Ephraim doesn't double that guy with a javelin. Franz isn't really in a position to take the javelin back from him, unless... Because I do want this area to be as clear of mercenaries as possible, both for the NPC's sake and for my own, because I'm going to want to fight off the enemies here, and the deluge of mercenaries makes it a bit annoying to get to them. These three, for some reason, don't like moving. I guess they're forming the defensive wall around the boss, so that makes sense, but they just really don't like moving for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that javelin off of you for a second, but I'm going to put that back on you because I like Ephraim having a javelin. And now you're going to take that back, and now you're going to hopefully hit. Thank you! Normally you wouldn't be able to afford to put cavaliers down here, but the Horselayer guy just doesn't want to move, so it's not really that big a deal if they're in his range. Ross is going to also approach, and I guess Lute can finish you off. Once again, getting her one step closer to not gaining speed again. Most likely. Oh, hey, she got a weapon level up. More heavy, high-rank animatomes that she can't really effectively use. Until she promotes, that is. And now Natasha, I guess she'll be down. Anyone? Can anyone? No, they can't reach her. Mulder, though, I like... Okay, Mulder can't quite reach that village. I like him being the one to reach that village, but if he doesn't have... Oh, he does have a vulnerary on him. Him getting hit by that ballista once is not really a big deal. He only has 13 attack. It's just weird. I do wish they used the concept of the fleet in other maps, though. As much as I'd like to get the house quotes there, I'm gonna have to hold off for a little bit. Oh, this is gonna wreck the Javelin's uses. Or not. Actually, I'm glad I missed there. Because I like to keep it on hand in case I need to throw a Javelin at the killer bow guy. Now, thankfully, these guys don't have much of a crit rate against these NPCs, but here's where things get very, very annoying. And yeah, good news is that Cormac does fly straight towards us. Yes, it's not even two-shotting loot. Some ballista you are. And of course, you're going to stand on the village. I guess it makes sense because the AI prioritizes the defensive terrain, but still. And yet more mercenaries. But also yet more pirates, which is why I want Joshua down here. Oh, having Teddies would be a really great thing by now, but we unfortunately don't have her yet, so we're just going to have to... Also a lance user. Suppose this guy being a sword user, if I have Seth go over here, it means that... wow, really? Guess I have to use the rune sword then. I want to suck your HP! I apologize for doing that, but it was kind of obligatory. So, the NPCs should be safe from the mercenaries at this point. So now I just need to get through these mercenaries. Which Ephraim can actually double, which proves how amazing he is. And Ephraim barely takes much damage in return. Speaking of Ephraim being amazing, it's weird because, like, I find Hector in FE7 to be a bit overhyped. He always ends up mediocre for me in most of my playthroughs, but Ephraim is generally pretty consistently amazing for me. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give that Javelin back to Ephraim. Just because he's probably going to need it sooner or later. Just a thought suddenly came to my head. It'd be kind of cool if Erica and Ephraim's, if Erica and Ephraim had different map theme. Like, not map, they obviously do, but no, I mean battle themes. That'd be kind of cool. Just like Alvin and Celica do in Gaiden. Or at least they do in Echoes. I forget if they did in the original Gaiden or not. I know they do in Echoes. I mean, they're just variations on the same thing. But once again, the Iron Sword actually helps. Although these things do the exact same amount of damage. Either doubling for one or not doubling for two. So, it doesn't really matter which he uses. And I suppose Amelia can go here. So it's only turn 5 and we're already right here. This is a pretty short map I was about to say in a lot of ways, but there's really only one way a map can be short. It's short. That guy's annoying though. But we're going to visit this village. And I like visiting it with Mulder because... oh, great. Well, that's obviously foreshadowing the next map. And I think you know what we're going to get. Yep, it's a torch staff. That's kind of funny considering that who he's talking to is actually someone who obviously can use it. Oh, that's kind of sad. But we get another torch staff. Not too useful for me because I already bought a few of those. But if you haven't, it's definitely good to have one of those before the next chapter. Oh, that next chapter. Yeah, that next chapter is definitely something. Firstly, though, so there are two ways that you can recruit Cormac. There's the easier but guide dang it way, and the harder but more logical way. This is the easier but guide dang it way. Is talk to him with Tana. Yeah, now, if you've played Erica's route and you've recruited Cormac there, you know that Tana can support with Cormac. That's really the only hint you get to this, and to be honest, I don't find this recruitment to be all that logical. It's probably just a reference to Sheeta, another blue-haired Princess Pegasus Knight who often convinced people that she had no connection to join Marth's army. It's kind of funny, in terms of, like, character, Tana is pretty much based on Sheeta, but in terms of her gameplay role, she's pretty much Catria, so that's interesting. But here's the reason why I don't find this recruitment to be that logical. You'll see. Cormag pretty much destroys most of her arguments. So, that's 2 failures to convince already. Three failures. Four failures. And for some reason, sheer persistence wins him over in the end. It's a very weird recruitment. I guess he justifies it by being something his brother would have done. But yeah, I don't really like that recruitment all that much, especially considering how great Cormag's recruitment is on Erika's route. But we do have Cormag. What you're seeing here on Ephraim's route is the base version of Cormag. He joins a lot earlier on this route, but he doesn't get the 2 off-screen level ups that he does on Erika's. Because of this, he starts at level 9, so he's unable to promote right off the bat, even though he still has an Elysian Whip in his starting inventory. But him being available earlier on this route actually makes him quite a bit more useful here. While his join level is a little behind what your team should be at this point, his starting stats are good enough to ensure he gets leveled up pretty quickly, especially since the next chapter has large amounts of very weak, easy to kill enemies. Plus, it's a chapter that you really want a flyer for. If you want to know more about Cormag's class options and actual overall stat build, I'll be putting a card in that links to his bio on Erika's route. And here's the more logical way, but a bit harder way to recruit him, is to have Ephraim talk to Dussel, and then have Dussel talk to Cormag. I might try and show that in bonus footage, because I prefer that conversation much better. It also does another title drop. The whole turning traitor thing. You're not actually going to be able to kill unless you get a crit. Right. I suppose I can actually just, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can go for a crit here. There we go, got a crit, nice one. So that's one less enemy flyer to worry about, but now these two have to make their way over to that fleet. Still find that enemy name a bit silly. Fleet! I don't know, but I still wish they would use more. It's an interesting type of enemy class, and it's kind of odd that they only exist for one chapter. And once again, here come more mercenaries. We'll probably be breaking through them this turn, though. And yeah, I calculated it so that, of course, you got hit anyway. Oh yeah, also all of Dussel's NPC Cavaliers are redheads, which is probably just a feature of the generic NPC palette than it is anything else. Please tell me that. Thank you for doubling. Okay, things are a little hectic on the pirate front than they usually are, but it shouldn't be too bad. There aren't many of them left over. Hi, Ballista. You're really not that much of a threat. Oh. You going that way might be a bad thing, because there's going to be reinforcements coming from around the start of the map very soon. Yep, right on cue. That's a lot of Cavaliers. I like having Cormag fight them, but, and Tana, I guess, but even he can't hold out against them forever sometimes. So, I'm just gonna have Cormag sit here and hope for some, killer Lance criticals, while Tana flies this way and tries to take on that Ballista ship, which seems like a weird thing to do. Speaking of weird, I feel like if you had the members card, by this point, a secret shop would be there. Seems like the kind of place they put one, but that's totally irrelevant. But yeah, Tana can usually survive one shot from these ballista ships. It's very weird. Okay, right. I need to... Yeah, you can go that. Yeah, no, that's fine if I put Joshua here. He and Seth just need to stand here and take out the pirates. And then the NPCs, again, provided this guy doesn't go Leroy Jenkins, should be safe. They're actually, like, they're some of the smarter NPCs that I've noticed in this game, because they are smart enough not to focus on attacking, just protecting themselves. That whole focus on attacking is what usually gets stupid NPCs killed. Right, now all those mercenaries do double Ross, so that's why I don't like committing Ross to the fray too hastily. Ephraim still has that javelin, right? I'm pretty sure I gave the javelin back to him. Because if I did... Okay, yeah, Ephraim's decently healed. Yeah, that... Okay, 6 times 3 is 18. I'm sure Ephraim should... Although, if he gets really unlucky, he gets hit by Luna. Because, yeah, just for showing this, yeah, Ross does get damaged quite heavily by those mercenaries. And those Cavaliers, I want to rush into them and take them out at close range so that they don't end up equipping their very nice strongbow weapons. I'm still pretty sure that even if you cross the threshold here, they still don't move. Oh, yeah, I'll be breaking the javelin, so I'll be going back to having a good wait for my con. Let's just go for this. Okay, it missed anyway. Yeah, the chances of that ending in disaster were fairly low to begin with. And once again, wow, he's even more amazing than I thought. If only he got skill, then that would have been a perfect level up. Still haven't got one of those this playthrough. But yeah, he's as fast as Tana. Well, not as fast as Tana, but almost as fast as Tana, and really good in everything else. Ephraim is just amazing. He's amazing in general. Could actually check out what's in that armory. I actually don't know. First, let's go ahead and patch up Franz a little bit. Yeah, Amelia's gonna need heal. I probably should have moved Ross a bit and then healed Amelia, but oh well. Yeah, I'd probably rather they attack Ephraim because he's got a better chance of killing them. Meanwhile, Ross is just gonna stay back for now. As is Franz, as is Loot. And Mulder is gonna try and just see the conversations in those two houses. Now, we're still in Mercenary Deluge mode, so it still might take a little while before we're able to reach the boss, but my plan for him is to first go for him with Ross while he has the Lance Reaver. Oh, I haven't even shown his stats. I guess I should show his stats after this, but... yeah, I'll explain that in a bit. Actually beating this boss is going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, well, one of the mercenaries didn't suicide against Ephraim. Is your 1 extra speed going to help you? Nope. Okay, well, that's one. Seth's been hit by quite a lot of them. But it's not like it actually makes a difference. Soon we'll be free of pirates, and that's good, because it means that village is safe. Well, I mean, we also have to save it from the NPC. Now, depending on how unlucky Cormac gets, that was pretty unlucky. Yeah, I may have to either heal him or retreat him a bit. Oh no, you guys are getting too close to comfort for that NPC. Yeah, and that guy can shoot the NPCs now, but it's pretty much... oh. Forgot about the hand axe pirate. It's still fine, though. Also, I forgot about Luna, but there's a very good reason I forgot about it. It sucks. 13 hits. Yeah, Luna's been nerfed into oblivion in this game. And we get some people taking javelin pot shots at Cormag. Annoyingly, he's getting hit a little bit more often than I thought he would. That's a lot more often than I thought he would. Also, that Troubadour gets very annoying. She likes to heal the NPCs, and still more mercenary reinforcements. But this turn, I should focus on eliminating these two. Also, I'm going to need to eliminate the hand axe guy, because he's the only one who can reach the NPCs at this point. And then I'm going to need to eliminate one of the NPCs non-violently from that village so I can actually visit it. And so, no more pirates. That ends the main threat to the NPCs. If worse comes to worse, I can just rescue the other guy before the Cavaliers reach him. I can probably do that with Kyle. Or Franz, depending. Con 9. Yeah, definitely going to be able to rescue him with Franz. Okay, I think Cormag should be okay here. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, no, obviously the fleet's not going to be able to reach him. The problem here, though, is that Tana. Because I can't have her get hit by both the fleet and the Cavaliers in the same turn, although she can just go there and only get hit by one of them, which is not bad. That is out of fleet range, right? Yeah, it is out of fleet range. Because I need to have her take out that fleet. Okay, question. 8 speed. Actually, I can check right here. Oh, she hasn't done with the Steel Lance yet, so let's go ahead and equip the Iron one. So, now we have to face these annoying Cavaliers. I guess Luke can burn this guy. Now I'm going to have to... Well, moment of truth here. No speed. I'm going to have to speed wing, aren't I? Oh, okay, Ross can't actually fight that guy. That's actually a bit of a problem. I kind of need to do this. Because I don't want to risk getting hit by Luna. Let's just say that I've had a bad experience with Ross getting hit by Luna. Okay, you can't even kill him. But you can kill this guy. And there goes him. I do need to be careful of Ross, because, like I've said many, many times, the mercenaries do all double him. Well, that's one for Joshua. Pretty sure Yeah, no, you can't reach Natasha there. Although, despite that, that shouldn't be fine. Like, as much as Yeah, I should be able to take out that guy, and then Natasha's not in any kind of danger at all. Because as long as the ballista is the only thing that shoots her, she's fine. The ballistas are pretty pathetic in terms of overall power. And I will need to leave someone back here a bit just to make sure that I can rescue him if he gets into trouble. Yeah, let's just go for this then. We've almost cleared our way over to the boss. And then the real quote-unquote fun begins. Because as per my rules, I think I have to beat this guy before the turn... We're almost out of the turn limit as well. Well, that gives me the Horse Slayer, not that it's really going to help against this boss because of the weapon loadout that he has. Let's just chuck a one-use Iron Sword. Like I said, I'm going to have... Oh yeah, I also promised that I'd have... I almost called Mulder Riss for a second. I mean, he pretty much is Riss from Shadow Dragon, but still. I think we know who that guy is, but wow, he's been traveling around a lot. It's funny, I'm not sure what that guy means by his girl, whether he means daughter or girlfriend. Of course, in both cases, the answer is the same. I am going to leave Kyle back here just in case something bad happens. I need to rescue that NPC. Of course, you will go for Ross. And yes, Ross does get doubled by them. He didn't get lucky and hit there. Well, he did get lucky the second time. But, yeah, Ross still does have the elixir, right? Yeah, I'm sure he does. I mean, not the elixir, but he has an elixir. I don't know why I was even worried about Cormag. Although, granted, if he does get hit by too many of these things... And no reason to worry about Tana. Although she's going to have to continue flying towards that fleet, because no time to waste fighting this thing. Have to get to that thing if I want the secret book. Speaking of things I want, I'm going to need to visit that village as well. 3 damage! Nice one. I was worried for a second, but turns out that I didn't need to be. Still more getting hit by javelins. And this soldier is very annoying with physic. I think I really do need to rescue, actually. Still more mercenaries. That's actually bad, because if I want Ross to fight the boss, he can't get hit by this... Okay. So first things first, and that's that I need to rescue the guy standing on the village, because I have to rescue that village, in another sense of the word, but I have to get that village myself. Let's see if Luke can... That's in range of loot as well. I probably need to rescue. Oh, you do double the javelin guys, though. If they both hit, that's 6 damage, and then on top of everything else... I mean, I think Cormag will be okay. I hope he'll be okay. Actually, he might suffer death by being too awesome if he crits too much with the Killer Axe Lance, so I'll equip this. I just bumped my microphone, I hope that doesn't pick up too much. Because I need Tana to go all the way out here. And she will survive getting one hit from the Ballista. Provided that it hits her, which it might not even do. So, I'm gonna need to... yeah, I don't want this, Actually, yeah, you can finish off one of the mercenaries, so you might as well do that. And you're not gonna double anyway, so might as well use this one use left fire. I don't want those cavaliers to get the NPC cavalier, because that would be tragic. Having done everything I can to protect them, and then him getting killed at the last moment. So, you're coming with me. And you are now doomed to get doubled by everything, but that's fine, because you're pretty bulky. I guess I can check out the armories as well. So I think it's about time to fight the boss, although first we need to, do have to be careful. That fleet's still there. Still no doubling. I have to do a Franz and Amelia tag team, which is actually pretty nice seeing as the two of them are potential love interests, but anyway. Okay, I have to make sure that Ephraim can potentially... Didn't even need his signature weapon or the Killer Lance to do that. But Ephraim needs to be able to reach the boss when I... How many turns? We don't have much time left, is the thing. Okay, so Franz is gonna go... Oh, this is his last weapon use. Well, it's fine. I don't think I'm gonna be needing him for anything else. But I'll need to stock up on stuff before I leave this chapter. Although... Right, yeah, I'll I'll have to... Actually... Just realized something. Well, I might not even need to use Ross against the boss anyway. 15 speed's not bad. But if I move you here... Then... Oh! Yeah, you're perfectly safe from mercenaries down here. Unless 1, 2, 3, 4... You actually can reach her from there, though. Because if she gets hit by both the ballista and the mercenary, obviously she's gonna die. But I need Ross heals. Wait, Ross has his elixir. What am I talking about? So, just saying 4 times 2, that's not good. So here's Biran, the boss. He's pretty much Ephraim's Root's counterpart to Ias. He's very statistically strong. Don't know why this is a cavalier, because he's actually a ranger. And he's got some annoying weapons. Lance Reaver, which is mainly to stop Ephraim from just destroying him with the Regenleif. Killer Bow and Longbow. The general idea here is to force him into using one of his bows and then have Ephraim use Regenleif. And even then, thanks to his gate bonus, he's still gonna not be taking very much damage. But I just want to see... 13 times 2. So my plan here was to get lucky with Ross's crit rate, but I don't really see how that's going to happen. Because if he gets hit both times by the boss, the mercenary will kill him. Oh, right. Loot's in range anyway. She's on a forest. She's probably not going to get shot by that. I say with incredible dread in my voice. Okay, new plan. I'm going to force the boss to switch to his longbow, which will actually lower his speed by 1, which, given Ephraim's speed, is exactly enough to get him doubled by the Regenleif. Aha! I'm seeing a plan forming here. I just really hope that he does take the bait and actually does use the, How much damage will you do with the longbow, though? 5 might, that's 21 attack power on Ross's 10 defense, which means that you're doing, 11 damage times 2, almost certainly hitting both of them, so that's, a lot. And then how much do? You do... You don't get doubles if I use the Iron Axe. Huh, that... Ross should be fine. Except there's also this thing, which is 3 damage, on top of that 4. So, that's 7, that's 28. Yeah, Ross should still be fine. Good thing I had this elixir. And that's provided that the mercenary and the fleet both attack Ross, which is probably not going to happen. And just in case, I'm going to have Natasha heal loot in case that 1 HP makes all the difference, because it might. Now, I'm not exactly counting on Ephraim being able to hit both of his Regenleif attacks, but if he does, it'd be amazing. Okay, Mulder is still safe. And Joshua still hasn't moved. Let's just visit this other house to see the conversation. And so everyone's looking up to Selena. Just don't look up to how slavishly loyal she is to the Emperor, who's obviously lost his mind. I'm just gonna check out what these shops are selling. Pretty standard inventory here. Unlock stuff. Extra torches might be useful for the next chapter. What do you got in the armory? Iron steel, iron blade. Pretty standard stuff. Not really that much notable there. Okay, and he went for loot. I'm pretty sure the ballista boat won't even kill loot, even if it does hit. But boss, please do what I'm counting on you to do. Also, Cormac, please don't die like I'm counting on you not to. Hi there. Well, I guess Joshua can't one-round you. But I expected you to go for Kyle. Oh, they both went for Joshua. I mean, that's actually kind of... I take that back, it's not kind of bad. Joshua made it work. I could have still finished them off next turn, though. Yeah, I get the feeling even if it hit her, it wouldn't have done anything. Yeah, see, Tana can take one hit from them. And because their movement is so terrible, if Tana stands right next to them, they can't shoot her again. Now, boss, please do what I'm counting on you to do. I'm going to need to have Cormac retreat after this. But, like I said, boss, please do it. Thank you, boss! He actually has a pretty cool battle sprite. I mean, it's just a normal Ranger and palette swap, but it's still pretty awesome looking. I thought you'd double, but nice one. Definitely nice one there. Now! Although... So we do have 2 turns to do this, and I need to stall this because... You're out of your ballista! I don't even need to worry about that. So yeah, because of its terrible movement, I wouldn't have needed to worry anyway, but... He's actually run out of the ballista, that's hilarious. Yeah, I still need 2 turns for Tana to finish this thing off, regardless. So I have to stall out killing the boss, but still. And fleets don't have battle animations, sadly. But I can't believe he actually ran out of ballista uses. I'm sure, yeah, you got one more left. Okay, now I don't want to mash the A button, but let's just... Oh, yeah, see, that 64 hit rate is not the best. And I have to do it next turn too, I can't just, And I can't even go for a lance because, yeah. I could heal up Ross and just have Ross go here and attempts to just do a little bit of damage. But, I don't know. You're gonna double loot, aren't you? Yes, you are, of course you are, because this loot is, parallel universe, slow as molasses loot. Which is a real shame, but it happened. Speaking of things happening, I need to make this Cavalier no longer happen. Oh, and I need to save that village as well. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Seth has to visit this one. Also, Cormac needs to not die. And Ross no longer has an elixir. Which means that you have to be the one to heal him. Probably didn't need to mend staff there, but oh well. It's kind of funny, Natasha hasn't needed to heal very much in this chapter. She'll get a lot of experience next chapter, I'm sure, thanks to the torch staff. Oh, right, but if I have Ross attack you in close range, you're going to switch to the Lance Reaver, and that'd ruin my plan. And if I have Amelia attack you in close range, you're also going to switch to the Lance Reaver, which would also ruin my plan. As much as I'd really like to do that. And I don't want to do this either, because then you're going to switch to the Killer Bow, and that would probably kill people, and that would also ruin my plan. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, that was almost a stupid idea. Meanwhile, let's see. Let's just heal a little bit of extra HP on Ephraim. Thankfully, bosses aren't smart enough to equip a different weapon on their phase. I should be fine to just whack you like this. I don't think you'd be able to physic the boss, but I don't want to take that chance. It'd be really dumb if you did. And let's rescue this village for a bit of a weird conversation that doesn't fit Seth at all. So, hi there, Marissa. Or, well, in this case, person we're not supposed to know, because I've said that I wouldn't be mentioning stuff from Erica's route. So it's just being very matter-of-fact, but yeah. Whoever you send there has the same reactions, and I feel like Seth should have reacted to that differently, but oh well. We get a Hero's Crest from that. So another promotion item, which is nice. And that should be fine. Yeah, like I said, it wouldn't have killed her anyway. Now you're definitely gonna get... Actually, you might not get doubled, because that thing has a steel lance. It's sad when you don't double someone who's rescuing something. Oh, hey, I was still in longbow range, forcing you to keep that equipped. Nice one. Okay, so I've done everything that I... Except for maybe, I'm pretty sure that you should be able to have Cormag talk to Dussel, but... Yeah, see, it's now last turn in green. So is my last chance to do this. Well, I might as well try and get a little bit more experience before going for it. So I need to have a backup plan in case one of those attacks misses. Nice job getting magic there. You're actually a little behind on magic compared to Erika's Rude. Nope. Don't really have any javelins left either, except for the one on Tana, who's all the way over here. Wait a minute. Oh, your inventory isn't full. If it was, I could have sent it to the convoy and done something pretty clever there, but nope. 8 times 2, that should be enough. And marvel at Tana destroying an entire boat single-handedly. Unfortunately, this boat gets to survive. There's no special boss conversation for Cormag, or even Dussel fighting this guy, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pin most of my hopes on Ephraim here. You still have the Rune Sword. However, I'm gonna have to do this. To get rid of the stupid penalty. Even then, you're still not likely to actually hit him. Yeah, no, Ephraim is still my best bet. Let's hope this works. Well, one hit. And one more than hits. There we go. Nice one. The funny thing is that you actually miss out on dialogue if you kill the boss here. There's a bit at the end of the chapter that only plays if you wait out all the turns. So, by doing that, we've actually lost dialogue. We skip straight to here. So normally there's a bit where the boss and one of his underlings just say, "Oh no, the enemy have broken through our lines. Volta is going to kill us if he finds out. Let's run away." That's the general gist of it. And he's kind of still a stubborn young lad. So to find this out, of course you'll find this out a little bit more quickly if you talk to him in the chapter. So time for a plot reveal that you only get on Ephraim's route. We could already kind of figure that out. But on this route, you get a bit of an indicator of maybe why he changed. So all seems to become with Prince Leon and the Mages created a strange gemstone. And obviously something called the Darkstone can't possibly be good. Yeah, that's something to be worried about. And Myr did sense a wave of evil from the capital. Yeah, it could have been possible for the change in the Emperor. Oh, that can't be good either. We need to get to him quickly. And Dussel actually does go with us. And yeah, he makes a pretty good point. He's already been branded a traitor anyway, so there's really nothing he has to lose from going with us. And now we come to someone completely new. Dussel, the Obsidian of the Imperial 3, has joined Ephraim's party. Dussel's recruitment, and to a lesser extent Cormag's, is pretty much the only advantage Ephraim's route has over Erika's when it comes to characters joining. Given that we haven't even seen this guy yet on Erika's route, you can probably tell why. But Dussel is a pre-promoted Great Knight with some decent starting stats by the standards of this point in the game, and pretty alright growth rates, especially a great strength growth as well as HP. He also has amazing constitution, enough to use pretty much any weapon type without penalty, and speaking of weapon types, he comes with A ranks in all three. This is something interesting from the Japanese version because, as you can see, his sword rank I've highlighted in green. This is because Dussel actually got a weapon rank buff in the English version. He had a B originally, but now it's an A in swords. Starting out with an A in swords, axes, and lances is a definite boon. And Dussel's starting speed, while not amazing, is up to the point where he can actually double quite a lot of things thanks to his high con. At this point in the game, Dussel is pretty amazing, and in fact, to my knowledge, speedrunners always pick Ephraim's route just for him alone. However, if you're going all the way to endgame, Dussel does drop off a bit in stats towards the end. It's actually not really because of his base stats or growth rates, both are good, it's more the fact that he just doesn't have that many levels to make use of those growth rates. If he started at level 1 like Seth, Ainz, and Soleil, he would have been very, very powerful. But starting as high as level 8 does hold him back a little bit later in the game. Speaking of later in the game, that's another reason why Dussel is nowhere near as useful on Erika's route as he is on Ephraim's. So if you like him, you definitely want to be on this route. And this scene only occurs if you saved all 3 of Dussel's NPCs. And they give you a Knight's Crest for that. So with that chapter is over. There is some bonus footage that I need to show, though. Definitely is. Oh, look who we have here. I already know where this is going. I'm pretty sure this is Ephraim's first meeting with Laurachel as well. That's kind of funny. We heard the same thing from the other port back in Erika's route. Rumors of a ghost ship. And, of course, Rennek doesn't like being involved in this. And those 3 are all the same as ever. But that ghost ship. That's gonna be an issue. Join us next time for probably one of the most infamous chapters in this entire game. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. See you then. So, here's what happens if you have Ephraim recruit Dussel. This is a pretty good conversation, actually. And yes, Ephraim is now actually... And yes, Dussel is now actually fully on your side, but he will still give you a game over if he dies. Now, the good news here is that it seems like Cormac does charge straight for where Dussel is, provided there are no characters around here, so they seem to go for wherever the biggest concentration of your characters is that's closest to them. And that's good for us, because it means that we'll be able to lure him into a position where I will be able to have Dussel talk to him next turn, and show off that conversation, so I'm going to go ahead and show that. It's funny how slow Great Knights move on the map, but yeah. So, let's just cut to when he's near us. Okay, the path is clear. I can now have Dussel talk to Cormac and show what happens if you recruit him this way. This, I feel, is the more logical way to recruit him. I've already said that before, but... And there's the chapter title again. And yeah, that's the other way to recruit Cormac in this chapter, which I like better in terms of the conversation. Okay, so it's the last turn now. I'm just going to show what the scene looks like if you wait out the turn limit of this chapter. Yeah, here's what happens. So, basically, they all run away. Oh yeah, we get this extra bit of the scene, yeah. And now it's exactly the same as if you defeat the boss. So, yeah, that's basically what happens. Just wanted to make sure to show that. Ross is still severely... Crap! Crap. I forgot about that. Ugh. And those mercenaries are definitely going to kill him. And I have no one left who can rescue. I think I lost this. Oh, I forgot about Ross's... Ugh! I'm so close! But, yeah... I mean, it's not the end of the world if I have to restart this, because, I don't know, I wasn't really that happy with my commentary so far either. And it's not actually that hard of a chapter. Yeah, Ross is... Alternatively, they do nothing to him damage-wise. Huh. Except that Shaman still can probably kill him. If it hits. Yeah, the Shaman still needs to hit in order to kill him. Huh, that guy didn't even double. Okay, so admittedly I can still lose this if I get really unlucky, but again, it's Luna we're talking about here. Also, Cormac is actually hurting a bit more than I thought he would be. Okay, good, they're not blocking off Tana's routes too. Actually, that could have been bad. Don't know if that would have killed him, but it might have done some pretty decent damage. Okay, that's a higher hit rate than I expected. Welp! I do have to restart this.